Suncorp Super Netball from Nissan Arena in Brisbane. Good afternoon, everybody. Matt Russell alongside Kira Tromp and Sharon Finnan-White bringing you this continuation of round 6. It is the Queensland Firebirds and the Melbourne Mavericks head-to-head for the first time at competition level. In the pre-season Team Girls Cup, it was the Firebirds by 1. They downed the Mavericks 43-42. Is it going to be that close again, Kira?
It was Danelle Wallam who sunk that shot to win the match. Will we see a repeat performance this afternoon? I think the Queensland Firebirds home crowd will be hoping so, Matt.
As we have a look at the Mavericks in their final huddle in the opposition team, I'll get to Tipper Dwan in a moment, but Amy Parmenter is the captain. Eleanor Cardwell, there's your headline news. Back from an ankle injury that kept her out of last week's big loss. Came against the Thunderbirds 59-37, so the 22-goal defeat is also the Mavericks' heaviest of the year. The crowd is standing by to welcome their home team, which is 1-1 at Nissan Arena this season. Against both the Sydney teams. In fact, they beat the Giants. They lost against the Swifts in extra time. So their performances at home, Kira, have been rock solid.
They had that game basically sewn up, Matt. There was a final push from the Swifts who really pushed really hard in the fourth quarter. We saw that game go to extra time and the Firebirds just weren't able to continue that performance throughout the game.
Eleanor Cardwell means business. She's feeling it as she takes centre court. The Mavericks 0-3. Away from Melbourne. They need to find some road form. Kim Jenner hoping to help them do that. But here come the Firebirds. Led out by Danelle Wallam, their diamond shooter. And alongside her in the circle, Tipper Dwan, the Adelaide Thunderbird premiership winner last season, who lines up against plenty of familiar faces in the opposition team.
Hasn't missed a start this year, but the short turnaround, I felt 2 games in 5 days against the ladder leaders. Saw her only play 30 minutes last week, so she'll be looking for an improved performance on her home court this afternoon.
Kim Revallian in the starting 7 for the first time this season. Great to see the decorated veteran continuing her recovery from back surgery. She's been a Laura Geitz medalist as Player of the Year at the Firebirds. She's been a Finals MVP, back-to-back premierships, 15-16, and Remy Carmo. A big defensive assignment for that end of the court at the Firebirds today against Shimona Jock, against Eleanor Cardwell. And we are set for centre pass. Shimona looks nice and relaxed. Remy, her face, all business, as Molly Jovic and the Mavericks will have first possession. A big Sunday on Fox Netball. Thanks for starting early with us in Brisbane. Cardwell back from that injury straight away. There's a turnover which is regathered by Cardwell. So a nervous moment early for the visitors. They'll look to shake that from their system. And Cardwell confronts a tricky range and scores the first goal.
Good touch there from Kim Revallian. She'll be happy to get hands on ball, just not able to convert that pick up the Queensland Firebirds.
Firebirds' one and only win came against the Giants here, round 2, 65-62. In fact, their first 3 games were all thrillers, single-figure margins, before they lost to the Vixens by 13, and last week, the Fever by 36. Here's Danelle Wallam. Can she find her best today? Shaky start, she leaves it short, and the defence for Mavericks get a result first up.
That'll be the 3rd game in a row we've seen Danelle Wallam miss her first shot of the match. Queensland Firebirds will be hoping that she can turn that around.
Jenner finding Jovic, who puts it in the air. Shimona Jock. 2 to the good. The Mavericks, a positive start off the back of that Thunderbirds loss last week. In fact, both teams having their heaviest defeat of the season last time around. Maisie Nankerville is looking for Jock. And the whistle goes towards the home team. The Firebirds fans like that. Sinclair to Dwan. And Ruby Bakewell-Dore and Dunkley finding Wallam in the backspace, and that is a give-me for Danelle. Can they settle from here?
Liv Lewis giving up 10 centimetres in the circle against Danelle Wallam, so that feed, as Sharon said, needs to come nice and early with lots of air for Danelle Wallam.
Still a couple of possessions each. Sharon Finnan-White, what have you seen? down to Sharon in one short moment after she finishes signing all those autographs and kissing the young babies around the side of the court. Here's Wallum. Levelling us at 2. Lauren Brown, the head coach today for the Firebirds. No Beck Bully, as we touched on pre-game. Nankerville. Jovic goes through Cardwell, back to Nankerville, who positions Shimona Jock. With that big foot plant, she gets nice and close. This is a solid start from the Mavericks.
We see there 3 goals to 2 to the Mavericks. They're looking really steady in attack as a great feed goes in early there to Danelle Wallum. Coach Tracy Neville was asking for clinical work in attack, and we can see that the Mavericks are really making sure of every single pass this afternoon.
Jock, despite the attention from Carmo, was able to go through Nankerville, back to Cardwell. Uses the back of the rim effectively. Yeah, both these teams 1 and 4 coming into this game. Close in terms of their differential as well. -46 Firebirds, -47 Mavericks. Firebirds have won 7 of their 20 quarters, Mavericks 6 of 20. So it underlines how close they are in the struggles they've had so far this season.
And across the season too, Matt, both teams sitting on 83% shooting accuracy, so you can't split these two teams.
Well, something will split them today, even if it's extra time, you'd hope. Tipper Dwan scores her first goal of the afternoon. Tipper playing against her Adelaide Thunderbirds coach, Tracy Neville, now in charge of the Mavericks. On top of that, Maisie Nankerville is out there. Eleanor Cardwell in the opposition lineup. And Jock makes no mistake again to go 3 from 3 shooting early. Sharon will try again. What do you see in early stages here? Okay, we'll get back to Sharon after we iron those gremlins out.
Unlucky there from Kim Revellion, just caught flat-footed on that pickup.
Pump enter for Nankerville. An athletic Jock again. Remy Carmo hands over pressure, and she forces the miss. But the rebound is taken by Jock, and rebounding is an area where the Mavericks have struggled. In fact, Danelle Wallum has more offensive rebounds individually than the Mavericks have collectively at either end.
Struggling there, I certainly are, Matt. They'll be looking to get first option. It's about the timing getting up to the ball, just not reading that off the ring. Tracy Neville will be looking for improvement in that area for sure.
Contact called on the Firebirds, and Cardwell delivers. So it's a 3-goal advantage to the Mavericks early.
Melbourne Mavericks really keeping this Queensland Firebirds crowd very quiet. They won't be looking to turn over any ball and get the crowd involved.
Wallum takes the high ball and reverses as she falls over the baseline. There's a bit of style from Danelle Wallum, and the crowd appreciates that.
That's the one we were talking about there, Kira, wasn't it? That quick release, Macy Gardner just landed and just turned and sighted Wallum.
Absolutely there, Sharon. I was just going to say that height difference, they really want to nail that one-on-one into Danelle Wallum early if they can, the Queensland Firebirds.
And they get a turnover at mid-court, go back and score again with centre pass. They can lock us up here.
The crowd's woken up, Matt.
Bit of momentum suddenly for the Firebirds. And that has invited the crowd into the game, Kira. Always a great atmosphere here at Nissan Arena.
Certainly is, and with their captain Kim Revellion on the court, they'll be certainly up and about supporting their Queensland Firebirds today.
Good to see Gretel Bueta and Laura Geitz here as well.
Claire Ferguson, ex-Queensland Firebird player, also in the crowd. I spoke to the CEO of Netball Queensland. She said, if we'd only won those games, we'd be 3rd on the ladder. So obviously everyone in Queensland riding a win today for the Queensland Firebirds.
G'day Geitz, sideline there, hands busy. 4 kids at home. Here's Jock. Edging the Mavericks back out in front for Tracy Neville and Nicole Richardson. Talk about some talent on the coaches' benches today as players and coaches across multiple sports that we'll touch on as this game continues.
Really patient build up here from the Queensland Firebirds. They get the opening of Tipper Dwan. She swings it across. Smart movement from Tipper.
Gardner. Back in for Dwan. She makes her second shot. And every time the crowd is level, the score is level, the crowd makes some noise. Imagine if the Firebirds are able to get away.
See lots of direction down there from Kim Revallion. She's stepped into that wing defence role really with her experience to help direct the Queensland Firebirds, and Eleanor Cardwell breaks the hearts there of the Firebirds fans with another goal to the Melbourne Mavericks.
This is the first of 3 straight Queensland games for the Firebirds as we see Liv Lewis get hand to ball again. That disruption defensively. If she's not winning ball, at least she's disrupting it. Some eye-catching performances from Liv Lewis in recent weeks. Can she build on that today? But yeah, back to the Firebirds. They can build something here over the next 3 weeks, they hope. Jeff Bully spoke about that yesterday before that emergency trip to Melbourne, about the chance to string some wins together and climb the ladder. And Donnell Wallam will hope to profit during that period in terms of her offense. Jovic. And Parmenter finds Nankerville. Back to Jovic in the air. Jock. Her jump was too much for Bakewell-Doran. Gardner. Revallion and Dunkley in the mid-court. Big weekend for the Dunkley family already, with Josh Dunkley posting AFL game 150 in sensational fashion, with Wallam leaving her shot wide of the mark. She couldn't get the rebound, but the ball stays with the Firebirds.
The work of Macy Gardner there on the edge of the circle, just staying engaged. You have to be as a centre, wing attack on the outside. She was able to pull that ball off Molly Jovic, who leads the competition for pickup. So a win to the Queensland Firebirds there.
14 coming into this game for Molly Jovic, a league high. And there's Donnell scoring to lock us up again. So nearly 10 minutes gone here. The biggest lead being 3 early to the Mavericks. After that, it's basically been goal for goal. I wonder if the trend is being set. Are the close games earlier this round going to continue here this afternoon?
Great touch there from Remy Carmo. Look, the power 5 coming up. That's where the pressure will come on from the Melbourne Mavericks. We know Cardwell is a prolific 2-point shooter.
30 of them already this season. Here's Jock. Just the 2 super shot attempts for Shimona. It's Cardwell they rely on. She's shooting them at 50%. 15 of 30. Through 4 and a bit games. Of course, she missed the last start against her former club. Tipper Dwan, the Firebirds, has it 4. The power 5, the Suncorp super shot is open. Tracy Neville, what are the instructions to her team regarding the way they approach the final 5 minutes of each quarter? Jovic for Jock. Again, the ball beats the big reach, the long reach of Remy Carmo.
Firebirds will be happy there to keep that to 1. We see Olivia Lewis out hunting, and she put the pressure on Tipper Dwan. She just overcooked that feed into Donnell Wallam.
It was the point we touched on, Kira, pre-game, the feeds to Donnell. Surely an area for improvement right now for the Firebirds. Not just early today, but on the last couple of weeks as well. A huge volume of shots taken by Donnell, but it's the quality that will decide the Firebirds' fortunes today and going forward. Jock able to get good looks, Kira.
Yeah, uncharacteristically, Donnell Wallam sitting at 77% last week. It was the shots under the post that really caused her the most drama, so she'll be looking to make sure that those go through today.
Jock. Contact forced on Carmo. Cardwell comes in from her range and coolly slots the 1. So yet to have a Suncorp super shot in this first quarter with 3.5 left. Dunkley finding Gardner on the move. And now Amanda hit the ground along with Dunkley. They're straight back to their feet. On at circle edge. The first super shot, no, she hands it off for Dunkley. And Wallam positions herself off the mark. Well, Sharon, has to be said it's been an unhappy shooting start for Danelle so far. How does she improve?
Well, I think she just needs to go back to her confidence. You know, when we've seen her confident, she'll just turn and shoot and release. So I think, you know, just be confident in her ability because she knows how good she is. And we all know how good she can be.
After that stunning 2022 season, we saw her climb and make a Diamonds debut against England. The match winner, he is Jock. Shimona Jock having a way, Kira. You're a defender. What are the Firebirds not doing well enough around Shimona Jock?
I think Shimona's doing a beautiful job at setting up. Her starting position is quite high in the circle and she's really commanding the two defenders on her as we see her with a bit of space. I'd love to see a bit more movement around the body from Remy Camo to try and confuse that ball coming in from the feeders on the outside.
She's the game's leading shooter, 11 from 12, Shimona Jock.
A lot of physical pressure here from the Melbourne Mavericks. Every ball is contested.
So the Mavericks by 5. It's an important possession here for the Firebirds. Gardner finds Wallam. All alone in the backspace. Another miss. She'll get it go again, but it's just indicative of her struggles early on.
Yeah, still demanding the ball, which is great to see. And the challenge will be for Danelle Wallam to be able to get herself out of this slump and push on for the team. They really need her to lift out on court in terms of her output, but also just that general motivation. You know, we love to see Danelle Wallam up and about and really commanding that defender down there.
Those high balls for Jock are working. The former Adelaide Thunderbird, then 5 years a Collingwood Magpie before joining the new franchise this year, the Melbourne Mavericks.
Pinpoint feed there from Lara Dunkley into Danelle Wallam. Just while the eyes of the defenders were down, she thread that through.
High again, look at the reach from Shimona Jock. She's going to hit that 3,500 goals by half-time, Kira.
It looks like she will be, Matt. She's off to a great start here. Shimona Jock is currently sitting on 13 from 14 in the first quarter, which is an outstanding start from her today for the Melbourne Mavericks.
Remember, she needed 24 to go to 3,500. Tipper Dwan, the Suncorp super shot off the mark, but she gets to go again.
Important shot here for Tipper Dwan for 2. Not able to finish it off.
The rebound for Wallam is waved away. Here come the Mavericks, out by 5.
You see on the Harvey Norman replay, she was called out of court there.
It's their biggest lead of the game. Gardner called for the contact. Jovic for Jock. Shimona Nelson is way out in front. In fact, Shimona Jock is way out in front of the scoring here. Old habits die hard, Kira. And as we hit quarter time, it's a great first quarter for the Mavericks. They're 19 to 13, 6-point leaders against the Firebirds. The first quarter has been a good one for the visitors. These girls, the Firebirds, have work to do because the Mavericks lead at 19-13 at Origin quarter time. What does Lauren Brown do from here? Well, let's find Sharon Finnan-White, who's standing by with the Firebirds and Diamonds superstar. Sharon?
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, that's right. I have Gretel Buetta here with us, former Firebirds and Diamonds superstar. Gretel, so great to see you here at the game. Can you tell us what you've been up to since you've been away from the court?
Yeah, I've just been keeping busy with the 2 boys. Bobby's off seeing the monster trucks right now, and I brought Toby along to the first live game we've seen this season, and we're loving it. It's such a good game, and it's great to be here.
Well, he wants to have a go too. We might be able to interview him. So as a former Firebird, do you still maintain your connection with the team, and what's been your involvement, if so?
Yeah, I got a call from Ruby during the week, and I speak to Lara a fair bit, but I think they're quite focused as well in the season. I don't want to distract them too much. So I'm here with a few old Firebirds, which is great to connect again. And I just love watching the girls.
One of the questions I'm sure everyone at home watching will want to know is, will we see a return to the court from Gretel Buetta?
Yes, well, I haven't retired, but these boys have been keeping me busy, so we'll just wait and see.
Just finally, what are you thinking of the Firebirds' performances so far this season?
Yeah, I think the Mavs, well, I think every team are a handful, but I think the girls can do it, so hopefully.
Awesome. So great to have you here, Gretel, and enjoy the rest of the match.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon, and of course we'll see Gretel Boyd back. She can't retire yet, Kira.
Looking as fit as ever, Matt. She is a force to be reckoned with. We saw Toby there, obviously eating his weight in gold with his looking strong, and having two boys certainly keeping her very busy.
And Bobby's at the monster trucks. Mum didn't sell the netball well enough. Bobby's gone to the monster trucks. Mavericks 19, Firebirds 14. Will the home team mount a better second quarter here? Well, not right there, because possession swings to Lewis and the Mavericks through Parmenter, Nankerville. Jenna goes back to Maisie.
We see Lara Dunkley move into the centre position, and Macy Gardner's moved into wing attack. So just looking for a bit more injection of pace and probably physical presence against the ever-strong Molly Jovic through the midcourt for the Melbourne Mavericks.
And the aerial presence of Shimona Jock really on show in this game so far. Ruby Bakewell-Doran, Remy Carmo taking turns and doing everything they can, but she's the leading scorer in the game. Shimona Jock, 15 of 16. She's about to add another one, you'd think, as that 6-goal quarter-time lead stays at 6.
Will we see the injection of the debutant Isabel Shearer into the goalkeeper position? She adds a bit more height. It'll be a big call for Lauren Brown as head coach to make that change.
Dunkley for Wallam. Able to get away from Jenna. And Danelle Wallam puts it in the bottom of the net.
A strong take there from Danelle Wallam. Currently sitting on negative 18 missing net points, so she'll be wanting to improve that with some easy shots to post. So for her, a really good start to this second quarter.
One area you identified at quarter time, the Origin Energy quarter time break here, was the centre pass to goal percentage.
Yeah, the Firebirds just sitting down, Matt. Currently they've ticked up to 72%, but we're in the 60s at the end of the quarter time break. So just struggling a bit to find their way to goal. And they've been looking at, I think, to improve on that throughout this quarter.
Dunkley spots Macy Gardner. And now Wallam making heavy contact.
I think Kim Jenner did the right thing there. She was hedging forward and back just to confuse the space, but just didn't get back quick enough in time to get that ball from Wallam.
Just had her head down there, Sharon, didn't she? And Lara Dunkley was quick enough to see that, and she thread that ball through the needle.
Just back to that centre pass to goal percentage that you touched on, Kira. It has been traditionally this season the area where the Mavericks have struggled at 63%, not good enough. But they've been better in that regards today. In fact, it's the Firebirds who are struggling, as we've touched on.
The Mavericks sitting at 80%, which is an improvement on last week's performance. Through their midcourt, had 24 general play turnovers for the 3 positions off the centre pass, centre, wing attack and goal attack. So a big improvement. It's what their coach Tracy Neville was looking for.
Tipper-Dwan, that left knee still heavily bandaged, as we see Gardner find a beautiful pass to free up Danelle Wallam.
During the quarter-time break, we saw 3 players of the Queensland Firebirds sitting together discussing that exact move on the Harvey Norman replay, just using the ball speed to beat the Melbourne Mavericks defence. They're very ball hungry, and really the only way you can beat that is with ball speed around the circle edge.
Cardwell from distance. She's on song today, Eleanor Cardwell. 70 tests for England. A premiership in her first Suncorp Super Netball season with the Adelaide Thunderbirds. As the grand final MVP, what can she do as a Maverick?
Yet to miss a goal this afternoon, which shows the Queensland Firebirds' pressure is not putting the Melbourne Mavericks under too much duress at this stage of the match.
Yeah, Cardwell perfect, as is Tipper-Dwan. But she's missed a super shot, my apologies. Tipper-Dwan, 5 of 6. Jock leaves one short.
Just the timing on the rebound there for Remy Carmo. She just got flat-footed and wasn't able to pull that one in. so important for the Queensland Firebirds to be able to have those wins on the rebound when there is a missed shot, coming off only 2 rebounds against the West Coast Fever last week. They will need an improvement in the rebound stat on court this afternoon.
Wallam looking more assured now. Jovic, centre pass through Jenner. They go backwards to go forwards.
Better hands over here from the Queensland Firebirds. They're really halting the down court pressure. So we see an easy let off there with Remy Camo outside. It's a 2-on-1 for Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
That's all the opening that Elle Cardwell needed, but she missed the shot. The rebound from Jock.
Frustratingly there, we see on the sideline, Coach Lauren Brown, hands on her head when that rebound was missed again by Remy Camo.
An aerial battle won by Donnell Wallam. Liv Lewis right in there. Wallam scores. Lauren Brown pushes her team stay in the game, but how do they peg back this 6-goal buffer?
You see on the Harvey Norman replay, Lara Dunkley just finding the space. Donnell Wallam, to her credit, pulling in another really tough ball under all sorts of pressure from the Melbourne Mavericks defender, Liv Lewis.
4 rebounds to nil so far in favour of the Mavericks.
Better there, a good contest from Ruby Bakewell-Doran, a throw-in for the Melbourne Mavericks. And a great touch on the outside by Lara Dunkley, and that's what they're looking for, that pick-up and quick transition down court.
So they get a result at the defensive end. They score at the end of it. Donnell Wallam, well fed. Lara Dunkley.
Is that the play the Queensland Firebirds need during this second quarter to get themselves back in this match?
So we sent a pass to follow. And they go on a run here, the home team. Gardner. Wallam wanted it high. They went through Tipper Dwan. Now there's nothing Jenner can do.
Tipper Dawn created that opportunity. She drove so strong in front of Donnell Wallam, really dragged the defender of Liv Lewis off Donnell Wallam and opened up that one-on-one with that height mismatch between Jenner and Donnell Wallam.
So Parmenter and Jovic in the midcourt. Here's Maisie Nankerville, high looking for Jock. Beautiful, what a feed.
The confidence ever growing for the Melbourne Mavericks. That's one part of the game. The Firebirds will look, as we see on that Harvey Norman replay, no hands over pressure from the Firebirds out the front.
Tipper Dwan and Dunkley collides with Parmenter. They both hit the floor, both okay. Midway through this second quarter, Sharon Finnan-White, what are you seeing?
I've been watching closely the battle between Revillion and Nankerville. Revillion's doing a really good job in shutting down her space, keeping her off circle edge, which is forcing Elle Cardwell to do a lot of the work out the front.
That's her, I think, her job this afternoon, Sharon, that real shutdown role of Maisie Nankerville. Will we see Halita Veve enter the court at any time? Because to me, the Firebirds really need to turn over some ball, and we know how good Halita Veve is at winning ball.
Dunkley. Back to Tipper. And Dwan feeds Wallam, but the defenders are there. Jenner couldn't take it cleanly. Queensland ball still.
Just needed one more pass, I think, to find circle edge there, the Queensland Firebirds, putting Donnell Wallam under heaps of pressure. A 2-on-1. She was quite deep in the circle, so not much room to move either.
Just repeating, both teams 1 and 4. They need to get going quickly to maintain contact with the top 4. Tipper Dwan delivers a big goal. The crowd knows it. They're back within 4, and they're fighting hard for a half-time lead. For the time being, it looks like being the Mavericks, but still 6.5 to go in this second quarter.
Really patient build-up here from the Melbourne Mavericks. Something we're not used to seeing. They're playing it back. They're working hard to find the circle edge as Maisie Nankerville takes a great drive across the top. Makes it very difficult for the Queensland Firebirds to impact in defence.
Yes, move from the Mavericks. It was Nankerville on the fly to set up the goal. Now Tipper Dwan looks for Wallam long. It's been intercepted by Olivia Lewis. So the error count climbing against the home team.
She did a great job there, Liv Lewis. She hedged, she came out and covered off on Macy Gardner's drive across the top of the circle, but was still good enough to get back and contest the ball against her own player, as we see her go up there on the Harvey Norman replay. 2 hands, pulled it in strong.
That 94-58 loss to the Fever last week had the Firebirds commit 22 turnovers.
We know how good the West Coast Fever are at putting on such strong physical defensive pressure. Almost feels as though they're playing with more players on court. Queensland Firebirds really need to lift their work rate off the ball, that pre-work.
Jovic finding Jock in the back space. So it's all working for the Mavericks in this first half. Tracy Neville, Nicole Richardson.
2 tactically strong coaches who'll be watching this game closely and adjusting their game plans to suit what they see out on court.
Tracy Neville, 81 tests as an England international. She's coached the England team to Commonwealth gold. And of course, Nicole Richardson, a softball bronze medalist at the Olympics, diamond 124. 32 caps of the diamond, including Commonwealth gold. So there's some netball knowledge on that Mavericks coaching panel.
Absolutely, it's strong netball knowledge and one that they use and deliver on court immediately for their players, which I think is so strong for players to get that feedback right there and then as the game's happening. As we see 2 players in the substitution box for the Queensland Firebirds, will we see Emily Moore enter the game with Halita Veve here for the Power 5 for the Queensland Firebirds?
In the meantime, Eleanor Cardwell keeps doing what she does. They're out by 8, the Mavericks. 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And an HCF tactical timeout called by Lauren Brown. Championship winner as a Firebird on the court. Here she is in the head coaching role. Let's take a listen.
Girls, defensively, no flopping. We're going for this, so the arms need to be down and we work our feet. We don't wait for the calls, they're not coming. If you're in the lane, then hold strong. We do not flop, okay? Take the hits, expect it. Ed's going to come on and H.E.'s going to come on. We need ball. So be brave, come up and have a crack at it. Down in the attack line, just make sure we have that second phase line. Be patient, it's coming. We need an extra ball and then we look in, okay? She will give it to you. Get the eye contact with her, yeah? Let's go. Alright, we're way better than this. Super shot time. We dig deep here. Do not roll over. Let's go. 2, 1, 2, paddle.
We don't wait for the calls, they're not coming, says Lauren Brown. Urging her team for a big finish to this first half, and there is a new attack line. Alina Veve out there.
You certainly
Emily
know
Moore as well.
You certainly know where you stand with Lauren Brown. She was in no uncertain terms telling her team, you know, to get together and work hard during this last 4 minutes to make sure that this scoreboard doesn't blow out any further. So really strong messaging there from the Queensland Firebirds interim head coach Lauren Brown.
Centre pass with the Mavericks. As Akadaka rev everyone up for a big end to this second quarter. The Firebirds need it, don't they, Kira?
They do indeed, Matt. They need ball as well. This was great work there from the pressure of the centre court of the Queensland Firebirds. Now to transition that into attack.
Now, Emily Moore, 3 of 5 shooting last week, including 2 of 3 Suncorp super shots. Here's Danelle Wallen. Good option from Moore. They take the high percentage shot and the coach likes it.
She's taken her opportunities, Emily Moore, as they've shown themselves and proved to her coaching staff that she can do the job for the Queensland Firebirds.
In her second season with the Firebirds. Game 16 of Suncorp Super Netball. The 27-year-old Emily Moore. Now Wallen trying to position herself for a super shot. And Danelle Wallen delivers. Stacey Marinkovic spying on all the happenings today in the shot, back of shot there. Jovic and Jock. The crowd falling silent as the Mavericks keep the high percentage goals coming. Turnover Firebirds.
A break there from the defensive players from the Queensland Firebirds on their own centre pass, a real coach killer, that one. As we see another feed with ease under the post for the Melbourne Mavericks. pushing their lead out now by, what is it there, Matt?
25-27, Shimona Jock. And it's 33-26 in favour of the Mavericks. They led by 6 at quarter time. They've won this period by a goal. And they're out by 2 in the second quarter now.
We see in the background there Kim Ravallion with the centre bib on now in the substitution box. A chance for Lara Dunkley to probably take a break. Lucky there, Molly Jovic in front position.
Danelle Wallam, a long way from the target. She leaves it short. Rebound taken by the Mavericks after contact there from Danelle Wallam.
I'd love to see Danelle Wallam just follow her shot a bit more, make herself a presence in that rebound. We know how strong and tall she is, but just caught flat-footed watching the shot go through. And I'd really love to see that impact from her.
There's some physicality again from Shimona Jock.
We know that Rosalie Jenke will step in as the high performance. She will come into the change rooms. A Queensland, an Australian Diamonds defender. She'll be offering some advice. What will we hear from Rosalie Jenke during the halftime break about what the defenders can do better?
Queensland Netball Pathways boss.
Kira, the ball's just really coming down so fast into that Mavericks attack end. I'm thinking maybe the Firebirds could put on a mid-court zone, box zone, diamond zone, something just is going to slow that ball coming down because the one-on-one's not working at the moment.
Yeah, how much are the Queensland Firebirds missing that defensive prowess of back bully on the bench? This is going to take a lot for the players on court to step up and really own their performance and make those calls for themselves if they see that what they're doing isn't working.
Bakewell Doran looking for Danelle Wallam. The pass was too high, long off the fingertips of her goal shooter over the baseline. And it's another turnover from the Firebirds. A problem for them in the first half.
Yeah, currently sitting on 9, Matt. We see the Melbourne Mavericks, who traditionally have given up a lot of ball, only sitting on 4 general play turnovers up until this point of the game, which is a huge improvement. And
they get one back. They get one back, the Firebirds. Welcome to an elite group, Kira. We curse anyone, anytime. And that's the end of the first half. It's been a great beginning from the Mavericks. They won the first quarter 19-13. They've taken the second 18-14, and they lead it by 10 at halftime. Surely Tracy Neville and Nicole Richardson are delighted with this after that 22-goal loss to the Thunderbirds in round 5. They're right on track for their second win of the season. They beat the Lightning, and now they're trying to take down the Firebirds as Sharon Finnan-White is standing by with Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
Flowing in this match. So what's your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I think probably a bit slow to get started. I think we probably let them chip away a bit. So I think coming out in this second half, we've got to have a bit more urgency and just start sort of doing our prelims and letting the ball go.
Having Cardwell back on court's really injecting a lot more presence on court for the Mavericks. You guys are contesting everything down there, so maybe a different tactics needed for the second half?
Yeah, definitely. I think we were trying to sit in space a bit, but we felt like they were getting probably through sort of the middle of the court a bit too quick, so probably a bit more presence from us in like our hard one-on-one, yeah.
Awesome. All the best for the second half.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Well, the Firebirds' best quarter this season is the third quarter. It's still to come, and it needs to be really good for them again. Straight after this, we have the Sydney Derby, and then Kate Maloney joins the team for Pivot, the perfect way to wrap up round 6 of Suncorp Super Netball.
When the final whistle blows, we're just getting started. Pivot rides the high of netball's golden moments.
To win the game, the Adelaide Thunderbirds!
Reliving the jaw-dropping plays.
Well, I can't say I have ever seen anything quite like that.
And spotlighting the superstars. We delve deeper into the players' perspectives. Your full round wrap from 5:30 p.m. Sundays on Fox Netball.
Half-time, Firebirds, Mavericks, and it's the Melbourne team out by 10 at half-time on the back of Shimona Jock and Eleanor Cardwell. They've been so effective at the scoring end. What can the Firebirds do from here? They've got to do something because both these teams 1-4 and craving a second win of the season. Eleanor Cardwell, great to see her back. Matt Russell, Kira Trump, Sharon Finnan-White as we go inside the Firebirds dressing room. How do they improve from here, Kira?
Well, you're looking at the lady right there doing all the talking. Rosalie Jenke, a championship winning coach in 2011, 15 and 16. She knows how to get it done. So she is laying down the law there to the Queensland Firebirds, and I'm thinking she's saying, we got to be better all over the court.
Yeah, absolutely, Kira. Like early on in the first quarter, we saw them really hustling and backing each other up, getting tips and turnovers. As the game's gone on, we're not seeing a lot of that. So, you know, they're really going to have to put their foot down and come up with a strategy that's going to work, because what they're doing right now isn't working.
As we prepared for this season, I'm not sure whether we expected Shimona Jock to be part of the scoring side for the Mavericks this season, but she and Eleanor Cardwell are forming quite the combination. Shimona, fantastic in that first half.
Unstoppable, wasn't she, Matt? She just had great position in the circle, but outside the circle, the feeders were giving her the ball with so much time, air and space, and I think she's really playing so well tonight, and she's got that record sewn up, 3,500 goals as she goes into number 2 of the record scoring goals in the SSN. So fantastic work from Shimona Jock.
And just look at her take those balls so strongly in the air. The feeders can put the ball way above her head and they know she's going to pull that ball in. Look at that from Maisie Nankerville straight in under the post. But Cardwell's playing a really strategic role as well. We're used to seeing her shoot a lot more goals, but at the moment she's hanging out of that circle because she knows that that one-on-one's going to work for them.
Well, Molly Jovic goes from Magpie to Maverick and keeps the good times coming. She leads the league in pickups, as we touched on pre-game, and really she's just gone on with the job. Very effective today.
Her hands over pressure has been really instrumental to the defensive work of the Melbourne Mavericks. Her ball, she's touching the ball, obviously 19 circle feeds, no pickups, but there's been limited turnovers. She's had not one single general play turnover after having 10 last week against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. So Sharon, a huge improvement from Molly Jovic from this week.
Absolutely, and look, while she's doing really well in her own right, I believe Maisie Nankerville has really stepped up as well. She's stepped up her work rate and really supporting Jovic in that attacking area.
Yeah, so Molly Jovic, 47 Nissan net points to half-time, 94 by full-time would be a pretty handy haul for Molly Jovic. When it comes to the Firebirds, what do we need to see from them from here?
Look, I think for mine, it's a full court effort, and we need basically what we want to see from the Firebirds is that they commit to the game plan and step up on court in all of their individual positions. I don't think, looking at the stats, that there's one Queensland Firebirds player beating their opponent. So that's where it starts for the Queensland Firebirds, owning your own opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as I mentioned earlier in commentary, I don't believe the one-on-one defence is actually working for them. They're getting beaten on that contest. So maybe looking at some different structures, setting up a bit of a zone, and just working hard to force the ball high and come and take some intercepts.
And part of the frustration for them, of course, is Olivia Lewis, who's been firing all year and is in Brisbane trying to make a mark again.
Well, she's kept Janelle Wallam to a negative number on Nissan net points, negative 7.5. Olivia Lewis, but been able to also impact the game with an intercept, 4 deflections. For mine as a defender, only having given up 3 penalties, Sharon, how impressive is that?
Yeah, she's so light on her feet. I just watch her movement and her footwork and her ability to stay balanced and controlled and make the decision whether to have a go at the ball or sit back. So that's where her low penalty rate comes from.
Look at the match summary. 9 turnovers from the Firebirds really cruelled them in the first half. As you scan the rest of the numbers, big advantage, Nissan net points for the Mavericks as well, sort of underline that 10-goal buffer at this point.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I don't see much difference in the stats, but when you really drill down, the Mavericks have not scored a single super shot. So they are doing it all the hard way, and I think they're really beating the Queensland Firebirds in a traditional netball game. It's a shootout at the moment, and the Melbourne Mavericks are taking it.
Well, you two made so many wonderful friends during your netball career. I want everyone watching today, whether you've got a special friend or a special friendship, let us know in 25 words or less. Go to foxsports.com.au/Suncorp or just scan that QR code and tell us all about your friend or friendships that you've built through netball. Here's Hayley, who's delivered some wonderful memories already, and she's not stopping here. There's some great times coming for Hayley. We love these stories. Please keep bringing them in, and you could win complimentary membership to your favourite Suncorp Super Netball franchise. Second half, Mavericks, Firebirds not far away, and then we're off to Sydney. The Swifts against the Giants for the first time since round 12 last year.
To be the team in New South Wales, and we see each other in the corridors, and our change rooms are facing each other, so we definitely want bragging rights.
The Swifts and the Giants rivalry is pretty competitive. I think, well, both teams obviously want to be the best in New South Wales and always want to get one up on each other, and we're really keen for 2024 to just do a clean sweep 2-0.
I feel like there's nothing better than beating someone in your own hometown, and when your change rooms face each other, it's nice to have bragging rights that week.
We are back underway at Nissan Arena. Firebirds down by 10 as the home team. The Mavericks on the back of Shimona Jock, who posted 3,500 goals in the first half of her Suncorp Super Netball career. Starts with a miss on resumption, but Kira Tromp, the big news out of half-time. Danelle Wallam has been benched. It's Emily Moore and Tipper Dwan in the Firebird shooting circle.
We see Coach Lauren Brown wanting to go to the moving circle as a turnover there. Not the start she'd be looking for, but a great pick up there from Emily Moore. This moving circle gives the Melbourne Mavericks something else to think about.
So a shaky start by both teams out of half-time. Who steadies with the first goal.
Not happy with the defensive pressure on the outside there, Macy Gardner. Her facials to the umpire.
So Tipper Dwan from range, leaves the shot short, an aerial battle. Dwan gets the rebound. They call it the way of the Mavericks. Let's go straight to what I assume is a very happy Mavericks coach, Tracy Neville. Tracy, you lead by 10 at halftime. You forced 9 turnovers in that first half. Is it as good as it seems for the Mavericks right now?
You never get confident in this game, and I think the way we applied ourselves in that first half is something that I'm happy with. It's just now about being consistent over these next 2 quarters for us.
Tracy, safe to say there was no half-time spray from you this afternoon. A really impressive centre pass to goal rate of 84%. You said during the week how important it was to be efficient with the ball and attack.
Yeah, definitely, and I think last week we were too wasteful. You know, and we weren't presenting options to the circle, we weren't looking into circle, and, you know, throwing ball away at this level is just not acceptable, and the team have reflected on that, and they've got to do that, they've got to up their skill level at this level.
How important is the inclusion of Elle Cardwell for your side?
Well, it's not just that. Like last week, we were 3 shooters down, and I'm sure any SSN team who go into a game with the 3 main shooters down are going to be affected, but for us, netball is a simple game as well, and that's no excuses. Everyone's been hit with, you know, niggles and players out, and we've just got to get on with it. But against a clinical side like Thunderbirds, that is always difficult.
Speaking of shooters, fantastic to see Sasha Glasgow out for her first run on court during the week. How did you see that?
You know, Sasha and then Loz is back out running as well, and for us, like, we really miss them in our team. They obviously were part of everything from the start, and they're so important to what we're building here at the Mavericks. And, you know, everything that they do is just as important as everything that we do for them as well. And it's nice to be part of all that.
Tracy, I don't know whether you expected Danelle Wallam to be sat out of half-time, but what do you expect from the Firebirds from here?
Yeah, these 2 people are very clinical in the way they attack. They want to move the ball quicker, and that's something that we've got to get onto quicker as well.
Thank you, Tracy. Enjoy the rest of the game. Always great to have the coaches join us. A 10-goal advantage to Tracy Neville's team as we speak, and with centre pass, if they can hang on to it, and the chance to go beyond 10. Nankerville finding Molly Jovic, puts it in the air, and again, Jock up above Remy Carmo and scoring. It is all working for the Melbourne Mavericks.
Unstoppable at the moment, as we see in the Harvey Norman replay. Shimona Jock just growing in confidence. Another turnover there for the Queensland Firebirds in transition.
We might be heading towards an early HCF timeout post half-time if this run, this momentum from the Mavericks is maintained. Jock again.
Yet to see a timeout called from Tracy Neville's. Obviously very happy, as we heard, with how her team is travelling.
32 of 35, Shimona Jock. Jovic working in with Parmenta. New ball movement. They're showing their patience here, the Mavericks. Nankerville, and they have one pass too many. Remy Carmo with the intercept. Well, it looked so controlled. It looked like they knew what they were doing, and then the intercept pass is thrown on the Harvey Norman replay. Well, a bit more than that, or of that, right now, the Firebirds. Jenna, hand to ball.
Just placement of the pass there for Macy Gardner. Just want an outside arm away from Kim Jenner. You don't want to give these Mavericks defenders any chance of being able to get a tip to the ball.
Just on that, Kira, the Mavs defenders, Jenna and Lewis, are working overtime. It's probably the best I've seen them work together as a unit inside that circle. There's absolutely no space for the Firebirds shooters in there.
Let's not forget, obviously, both coming out of the West Coast Fever system, so they have some experience together playing.
So the timeout has been called. Lauren Brown, an HCF tactical timeout early because that 10-goal deficit as half-time has blown out to 13 on the back of the defence from the Mavericks that you touched on.
Okay? Be really clear on who is doing what. Okay, so get in quickly, use your speed. You're not in there to hold, you're in there to find the body, roll and pop. Okay? And then inject on the front cut. Great tips down there. We're getting the tips, but reward ourselves. Okay? Be really clear on that center pass. You step in, you know where it's going, and you throw it and you cut. Okay? Get the eye contact and release. Dead ball time. When the whistle goes, you need to present. Give her something to throw to. Yeah? Big D, let's go. Great work, D.
Lauren Brown, Kira Tromp just urging her team to dig deep. They need to right now. Otherwise, the game is going to be gone.
I'm really loving that. She's up and about. She's making sure her players know they're still in this game, and they need to make sure that when they have the ball, they look after it and get it to goal. Reward the defenders and the hard work that they're doing to turn the ball over. Not the start she was looking for coming out of the halftime break. It's 2 to the Mavericks, 5 in this third quarter, so a much-needed improvement from the Firebirds here.
Well, Toby doesn't like it. This is Mum's team. They're down by 13.
Listening in.
Weather tends to the Toby sideline.
Sorry, Maddie, just listening in to Tracy Neville then in the huddle. It was actually strange to see a smile on her face after last week, so she had lots of positive reinforcements for every single player out there.
Well, the Firebirds are at the end where Kim Jenner and Olivia Lewis are starring defensively. They can't stop Tipper Dwan there, but you're right, Olivia Lewis, 3 years at the Fever, a couple at the Vixens before joining the Mavericks, and Kim Jenner, 6 years as a Firebird. Veve, the intercept. So a bit of momentum here for Queensland.
And that's what Veve's out there to do for the Queensland Firebirds. She's looking to turn ball over, inject herself and have impact.
Jenna, the former Firebird, also 1 year, last year at the Fever before arriving at the Mavs, trying to stop Tipper Dwan, who's off the mark. It's off the hands of Jenna. So more with the bounce throw in, and it's with the Firebird still, but only just. Contact from Liv Lewis on Dwan. A bit wild around the post right there, Kira.
A late contact there as we see that ball just from Kim Jenner. Halida Veve had the footwork. She was clean. She got around and read the line of the ball. Fantastic work from the wing defence of the Queensland Firebirds.
That is contact centre.
Dwan.
Contact the attack.
An offensive contact call.
A very unusual call there from the umpire. Amy Parmenta went offside to impact that contest, but wasn't called, and the contact against Lara Dunkley was called.
So nothing going the way of the Firebirds. Jock gets her foot in play just. Now, Maisie Nankerville getting away from Veve. Eleanor Cardwell.
We heard Lauren Brown say during that break that they're not going to be getting the calls, that they need to play on and move on and not wait for the umpire to call. So the Firebirds really needing to adjust to what the umpire is calling and be able to impact in this game by doing that.
Shimona Jock with the miss. Couldn't get the rebound, but it's off Ruby Bakewell-Doran. Anyone who's been to Nissan Arena will know how the roof lifts off this place as soon as the home crowd is invited to make some noise. The trouble for the Firebirds, they can't do it regularly. They can't bring the crowd into the game and ride that wave back towards level scores, and they hope a lead and a win.
Well, haven't the Mavericks done their homework? They know that you can't do that in this stadium. You can't give up ball. They don't want to give energy to this Queensland crowd, and they're doing it by using the ball so efficiently and smart that there's no opportunity for the Queensland Firebirds to turn the ball over.
Jock fed by Eleanor Cardwell. Carmo can only swivel and see it go through the net.
What options does Lauren Brown have to make change here? We've got Isabel Shearer, who obviously debuted last week against the West Coast Fever.
Can you remember Shimona Jock being denied the ball in the air today?
She has been strong and committed to the take, and the feed has been near perfect into the circle, making it very difficult. So for mine, the Mavericks are just really nailing that ball in.
And they lead by 15. More. Brought Gardner into play to get a better look. And they chip away. Jenna and Jovic in the midcourt with Parmenta playing a role through Nankerville, and they deny, the defence denies Jock the ball that time, and it was along the ground, the bounce pass. Get back in the air, girls. Here's Moore.
Beautiful rejection there from Olivia Lewis. She timed that, watching the eyes of Emily Moore, reading when she was going to release that shot.
Try and tackle the fence. In the one, yes, your shoulder. In the one.
You hear the explanation. Kim Jenner called out of it.
You can see how hungry the Melbourne Mavericks are for the ball. The feed there from Lara Dunkley, she used the fake, she drew the two defenders and opened up the shooter. So smart work there from the Firebirds attacking line.
Tippett won 10 of 13. Just repeating, if you've joined us late, Danielle Wallum, a tough shooting time in the first half, so she was sat out at halftime. We haven't seen her yet in the third quarter. That's the sound to trigger the Suncorp super shot, and wasting no time, Eleanor Cardwell rattles a super shot through.
Hold time. Can we have them up?
And we'll just hold time here while we clean the floor.
In the centre.
This is a really important 5 minutes for the Firebirds. They'll be thinking if we can use the super shot effectively, we can eat into this 15-goal deficit. At the same time, if Eleanor Cardwell is allowed to have shots like that, the game could be done by three-quarter time.
I just wanted to touch there on Amy Parmenta and the impact that she's having on this match, currently against Lara Dunkley, who's sitting on a season average of 72 Nissan net points. Amy Parmenta currently has kept her to 35.5, so doing a fantastic job in keeping that Queensland Firebirds centre court quiet.
That's a great spot. As you were saying that, Shimona Jock delivered again for the Mavericks. Macy Gardner. So lots of long passes here from the Firebirds. Swinging it from side to side. Emily Moore, after what looked a lost possession, delivers a super shot. Cardwell.
We see Molly Jovic there again. She's just unstoppable on those pickups. Should have been a Firebirds ball, but to the Mavericks' credit, they worked this one to a well-earned goal.
Jovic to Jock. And there's no joke for Firebirds fans because the Mavericks have 50 on the board. They're 15 to the good. 3.5 minutes left in the third.
Frustration there from Lara Dunkley, giving away the contact. It's a great tip, but not able to convert for the Queensland Firebirds.
It was great work from Parmenta there. She had front position and Dunkley just, running up the back of her.
The voices of a couple of former Firebirds beside me. Sharon Finnan-White, Kira Trumpf, and Shimona Jock. Goes to 37 of 41 now. And 3 rebounds as well. Moore getting hand to ball. They're fighting for everything. Maisie Nankerville.
Goal third.
Dunkley and Dwan.
Fighting obstruction centre.
Gardner finds Dwan. A Suncorp super shot. It's good. Can they get on a run? Lauren Brown hopes so. Tracy Neville knows her team has been defending really well, and they can keep it going as well.
That was a beautiful shot from Tripper Dwan then. She had Olivia Lewis all over her then, so great work.
Bodies contact, all attack. Bodies centre contact.
Emily Moore and Dunkley. We wondered whether Danelle Wallam is going to sit this entire quarter. She's on the bike warming up. Is there a cameo during the Suncorp super shot period? That one off the mark. Good save, Dwan. There's a bit of desperation. And Emily Moore lines up again. This time, she hits the mark.
Never looked like passing off there, Emily Moore, and that's the confidence that the Firebirds will want to see from their goal shooter, looking to post and scoring on the super shot.
Jovic for Cardwell.
Just this measured attack down court from the Melbourne Mavericks.
The miss from Cardwell. And then drop is called for contact. Dwan, she was under pressure a lot of time with the ball there. Must have got it away just in time.
Beside her goal defence.
Defensive pressure from the Melbourne Mavericks. When one player goes and attacks the ball, there's someone backing her up from behind. So that real piston defence style.
Tipper Dwan, they're going up by 2. 51-41. Inside the final minute of the third. How close can they get? The last few minutes, it's the Mavericks who've looked cool and in control. The Firebirds a little flustered. But can they finish the period on a high and really set up a charge in the fourth? There's the run of goal, the last 3 to the Firebirds.
Great quick take there from Tipper Dwan. She got round quickly, sighted that Macy Gardner. Tipper for 2, but unable to find the goal there.
Didn't even get the kind roll. It continued on its path over the baseline. No chance of a rebound. Is there time here for the Mavericks to come up the court? Jenner loses it. A fumble that's picked up by Jovic. 5 seconds to play. Is there an eye on the clock? Shimona Jock has to get the ball away and does! It's the Mavericks who finish with a goal. They're out beyond 10 again, and that final possession just underlined the third period from the Mavericks. Tracy Neville, Nicole Richardson will be delighted. They were assured, unflustered, and they fought all the way and scored the final goal of the period. It's the Mavericks 52 over the Firebirds 41.
Do you have a secret talent for us?
I can play the spoons a little bit.
All right, I've got 3 spoons. How many do you need?
Just 2 will do. If I give you $1.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Oh my goodness. Where did you learn to do this?
Well, actually, one of my aunties who used to drink with mum, and then all the aunties would get out the spoons, and then one of them would just play it, and I was like, that's actually really cool.
Danelle, I don't know anyone else who can play the spoons who is less than 60. No, I'm kidding.
I'm with Hannah. I don't know anyone else who can play the spoons. A hidden talent of Danelle Wallam, who you can learn a lot more about on Off the Court next Saturday night after the second game, after the Thunderbirds play the Swifts in round 7 of Suncorp Super Netball. Off the Court with Danelle Wallam. Now, Danelle spent the third quarter off the court. She's back on to start the fourth. They need a big 15 minutes here because the Mavericks lead at 52-41. The Firebirds shooting for their second win after beating the Giants in round 2. The Mavericks chasing their second win after taking down the Lightning in round 5. It's Tipper Dwan making way for Danelle Wallam. Who wins this one? It's the Mavericks in the box seat. Two desperate teams go down the stretch. And Shimona Jock looks for a settling goal to start this last quarter.
Maddie and Kira just listening into the Mavericks huddle. Both Tracy Neville and Nick Richardson talking to both ends. In the mid-court, they want them to stay strong and force them off the circle edge. But they said they both spoke about wanting repeated work efforts, chasing all the loose balls and to not change the tempo and play safe. They want them to keep the pedal to the metal and just go for it.
Was there any discussion, Sharon, around the body position of the defenders on these shooters?
They were just asking them to stay upright and, making sure that they're in the contest.
Well, the Mavericks' best quarter this season has been the fourth quarter. 3 wins, a draw and a loss. They've won every quarter today. 19-13 the first, 18-14 the second, 15-14 the third. There it is, they're up in the fourth very early on, so shooting for a clean sweep and a big win. The Melbourne Mavericks fighting here defensively as Wallam is crunched by Kim Jenner. Emily Moore. Off target, they fight for the rebound, and the penalty goes against the Mavericks.
You see the big deep breath there from Danelle Wallam, resetting herself, finding that shot under the post. Doing a good job on the defensive wall there, the Queensland Firebirds, forcing the Melbourne Mavericks up high. The ever-strong Elle Cardwell just finds that double play and that entry into the circle.
Hand in illegally from Ruby Bakewell-Doran, trying everything as Elle Cardwell early in the fourth says, I can suit the super shot now.
Only put up one today, the Melbourne Mavericks, so maybe we're warming up, Matt, for a onslaught of super shots. Contact call against Kim Jenner there. She looks a little ginger as she gets up on that ankle.
Hats off to the defensive end at the Mavericks today. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. And again, Kim Jenner flying, colliding with the post. She's okay. Wallam comes away with the goal. How do you approach a final quarter deficit of this margin, Kira?
Chipping away at it one at a time. The Queensland Firebirds really at this point want to win this quarter, and that should be their main focus. Forget the scoreboard, as we see Shimona Jock make that almost impossible as they push out to a 12-goal lead. But yeah, for mine, just working through, using the firepower they've got down there in Danelle Wallam.
Quick ball movement, Kim Revallion fires the pass to Wallam. The interim coach says that's better. More of that, please, beating the flying Molly Jovic. The Harvey Norman replay showing it beautifully. Here's Maisie Nankerville. Letta Veve hit the deck off the ball. Cardwell finding Jock. Still with the game in their control, the Mavericks. They had that amazing comeback win for their first as the Suncorp Super Netball team against the Lightning from 4 down late to win it 65-64. It was great viewing, but right now the margin is significantly bigger and in their control.
Just Remy Camo getting really stuck on the body there. It really shows the position where the feed needs to be. I'd love to see the Queensland Firebirds come off the body and start confusing that space. As a touch out there by Remy Camo is picked up by Ruby Bakewell-Doran.
Kira, that's a good point. I was actually just thinking, do you think it's a good idea maybe if Isabel Shearer comes on just for something different? Because what's happening out there at the moment isn't working for the defensive end.
It's become a bit predictable, Sharon, hasn't it? We saw Isabel Shearer warming up in the background as Danelle Wallam goes to the post. It is an option for Lauren Brown. Will we see her impact during this quarter? Let's wait and see.
It's back to 10 the difference. The Mavericks' biggest lead today, 16. They can be back to single figures, and it is. The crowd knows it. Lauren Brown knows it. 10.5 to play. Mavericks centre pass. Nankerville to the wingspan of Shimona Jock, the Jamaican Sunshine Girl, the Commonwealth Games silver medalist. permanent Australian resident, terrorising Suncorp Super Netball defensive lines. Certainly today, Bakewell, Doran and Carmo have had their work cut out. And you wonder whether that thought process is crossing the mind of Coach Brown, just to send Isabel Shearer out there and mix it up. For the time being, she continues to sit.
Amy Parmenter leading the centre pass receives for the Melbourne Mavericks. Is it time the Queensland Firebirds thought long and hard about the defensive pressure on her during the Mavericks centre pass? They really need to shut her out of that centre pass receive game.
Body centre contact.
Cardwell again feeling it, going from distance. They missed her badly last week, scoring only the 37 against the Thunderbirds. It was tough going indeed as the pickup from Wallen. She made the ball her own. 59-50. The Mavericks.
Better positioning there from the Queensland Firebirds defence, forcing the Mavericks to go back. Elle Cardwell sweeping across the circle edge there. Strong in her take of the ball and finish.
So Eleanor Cardwell
Stop counting.
doing it for the Mavericks. Her experience on show. She's 16 of 20 shooting. Danielle Wallen, high percentage plays. They need to force turnovers. Something the Mavericks haven't been giving up like they have to start the season. They've improved dramatically in that department today. Nankerville to Jock. The 195 centimetre tall, 6'5" in the old book, has a fair wingspan, and it's been on show since the get-go today. Initially in the air, wherever the feed is, it's made to look really, really good by the reach, the athleticism of Shimona Jock as we head into an HCF tactical timeout.
One at a time. How long left? How long's left of this quarter? 9 minutes? 9 minutes, about 9 minutes. About 9 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, they're going to go hard on everything now. They need turnovers, so we use this. Hustle, guys. You've got to. Yeah.
Eleanor Cardwell with one of the final says. We use our head from here.
She's identifying the heart and soul of the Queensland Firebirds with the crowd. They're going to come at them now. And the Melbourne Mavericks need to keep steady. They've got nothing that they need to do. They're ahead by 10, so being smart with the ball.
Lauren Brown in that huddle there, Kira, just basically saying, if you see the ball, go and get the ball. Let's back our fitness and really put the pressure on. You can see that she knows they're still in this game.
Attack the game, Sharon, from Lauren Brown. With 8 minutes left. 10 the difference. It's been the Mavericks leading throughout. They've been in control, and Moore says, let's have more of that, says Cardwell. Goes long, home alone, Shimona Jock. Great awareness from the veteran Cardwell.
She saw that and just sent it long and knew that Jock would take it and finish it off strong. Danielle Wallen's had a fantastic start to this fourth quarter, sitting on 23 miss and net points as we see just one of those silly handling errors there from the Queensland Firebirds, giving up the ball to the Melbourne Mavericks. A better start to this fourth quarter from Danielle Wallen.
Obstruction goal attack.
Jenna to Nankerville. Cardwell considering her options. Molly Jovic is a good one. Now, Jock in the air. Bakewell Doran doing her best, but Shimona continues to score, and it's a Mavericks centre pass.
Sharon, are you hearing much talk between the two Queensland defenders? It seems very quiet between Carmo and Ruby Bakewell Doran.
Yeah, Kira, I can't actually hear a lot of talking, but I think, yeah, I mean, they've played together for a long time in the juniors, coming through the ranks, haven't they? So a lot of it is that non-verbal communication, but I think, you know, if they could just use their voices a little bit, and also, you know, the Veve and Gardner out front also, you know, using their voices to really just talk to them and let them know where the players are. I mean, it's just going to help.
Liv Lewis close to winning ball. The Mavericks had scored 5 of the last 7 goals before Danelle Wallam put a stop to that. But as the Firebirds try to find a run, the Mavericks are not leaving the door open in any way.
Very clinical in attack, Matt. They've got only minimal turnovers, sitting on 12 currently, which is a huge improvement. So not giving up any easy ball, not giving any life or energy to this Queensland Firebirds crowd.
And good front runners performance by the Mavericks. Trying to win every quarter today. We're square, we were. It's Mavericks 13-12 in the fourth, having taken the first 3. Gardner swings the ball through Bakewell, Doran and Moore.
Quick, smart play there from Kim Rebellion. She didn't wait for the penalty to be set. She just got on with it, moved the ball.
Emily Moore. So it's going to come down to the super shot period, where obviously the Mavericks will just play the high percentage. Just take the ones on offer.
We heard that during that timeout break. Eleanor Cardwell asking how many minutes were left in the quarter. No doubt she's eyeing off that super shot, but knowing that her team doesn't need it is a real, you know, calm and composure that we haven't seen for the Mavericks being ahead at this point during the game by so many.
So into the final 5, 66-54. The Firebirds have to go up by 2.
They've got no choice but to look for the 2-point shot, which therefore
that's what happens. That's what happens.
Mistake there from Danelle Wallam.
Both Tracy Neville and Nick Richardson up off their chairs in the coach's box. They know in the 2-point shot Firebirds can be dangerous, so they're just making sure that their team are just pushing hard to keep this game alive for them.
She looks like a winner already, Tracy Neville. She's enjoying this at 66-54. And she's been enjoying Shimona Jock from the get-go. That shot short, the rebound falling for Rebellion. Veve, Moore, cross-court for Bakewell Doran. Now Rebellion, a big step from Wallam for the 1.
Fighting to get that ball back to the centre pass, really aware of the time. We see the Mavericks taking it slowly. Using again Amy Parmenter off that back line.
They've been unable to disrupt much of the Mavericks' offense today, the Firebirds. Can they do it late? Como with the arm tangled in with Shimona Jock, who just shows her strength as well as her accuracy. It's been some game from the Jamaican shooter. Wallam, that's not enough for the Firebirds. They refuse to be rushed or pressured, the Mavericks.
Great pick up there from Ruby Bakewell Doran. Front position against Elle Cardwell.
1-1 on the commentator's curse front. They looked a bit rushed there.
Pressure now for the Queensland Firebirds. Their transition play at 55%, up from 40% at halftime.
Pick-ups Bakewell Doran and Lewis level on top.
In everything, Amy Parmenter on the outside of the circle, just unsettling the Queensland Firebirds entry once again.
Gardner.
It's got to be a 2 here. We'll see Danelle find that space.
So Emily Moore needs a whole lot of these, and there's one of them.
Such confidence from Emily Moore. Putting up that shot, never looked like missing. Only her 15th match. Looking like a seasoned veteran out there, putting up the super shot.
They want a run of them to try and sow the seed of doubt in the minds of the Mavericks. Wallam looked to bring Rebellion into it so that Wallam could position herself for a super shot.
A strategy change here will be needed from the defenders from the Mavericks.
Moore again. The crowd hasn't given up. Back-to-back Suncorp super shots from Moore has it 67-60. The Mavericks looking to Sydney in the weeks ahead. They play the Giants next weekend, then the Swifts. And we'll see those teams straight after we're done here. Shimona Jock with a little settler for the Mavericks. It's an important goal. Lauren Rebellion. Long for Donnell Wallen. Liv Lewis was in there contesting the ball. Been a joy to watch in 2024. And there's more. Feeling hot from distance now.
We know how important the percentages are at the bottom end of the ladder, so every goal for the Queensland Firebirds important here in the last minute of the match.
Emily Moore, 5 of 6 on the super shot front. But this is an important possession. The Mavericks happy to work the clock. We're inside the final minute. Time ticking away on the Firebirds, who need to force a turnover. Mankerville, Jenner, very aware.
Alida Veve up hunting.
Parmenta and Jovic. They'll just pass the ball if they're allowed for the final minute. Cardwell, Jovic. She had Jock calling for the ball, decided against putting it in the air and inviting any sort of trouble. They work it down. They get a high percentage shot, and that possession from the Mavericks just about wraps it up.
Delaying there from Elle Cardwell, has a shot from halfway. The crowd unhappy about it.
Donnell Wallen, her feet in the super shot arc, but it's too little too late, and that shot sort of sums up her day as we hit full time. The Melbourne Mavericks have their second win. Tracy Neville, Nicole Richardson embrace. Their biggest win of their short existence has been built on cool heads, calm minds, and patience across the floor. The Mavericks, 69, the Firebirds, 62.
Really impressive there from the Melbourne Mavericks. They've improved in all parts of their game from last week. Centre pass to goal rate up at 79% as we see the embrace between Tipper Dwan and her ex-assistant coach from the Adelaide Thunderbirds, Tracy Neville. She'll be impressed with the effort of her Suncorp players, but Shimona Jock, outstanding, 52 from 57, 91 miss and net points, and well supported by Molly Jovic again with another fantastic performance. 120 miss and net points to Molly Jovic. She was unstoppable through the midcourt for the Melbourne Mavericks.
She had 47 to half-time, so she's had a better second half than she did first half. Molly Jovic beating Shimona Jock sensationally. The Mavericks improved to 2 and 4. The Firebirds crashed to 1 and 5.
Queensland becomes a very happy hunting ground for the Melbourne Mavericks. They've made that 2 wins here in the Sunshine State, taking down the Lightning and now the Queensland Firebirds at home. It's a very happy Melbourne Mavericks outfit.
Some soul searching for the home team. The Firebirds next up. They play their Queensland rivals, the Lightning, next Saturday to open First Nations round. Then it's the Thunderbirds. So a couple of games in Queensland still, but it's a long way back for the Firebirds as we find Sharon Finnan-White with an obvious player of the match. Sharon?
Well, Maddie, you are correct. It is the obvious choice for player of the match. Congratulations, Shimona. A fantastic, outstanding performance from you. 52 from 57%, 91%, 52 from 57. What does this win mean to you and your team today?
It means a lot to us. I think from last week's game, we went back to training with hard definition of what we want to do and how we want to represent out there on court and how we want to show them, like, this is Melbourne Mavericks. And I think from just going hard at training and not taking any shortcuts, I think that's how we delivered out here today.
How good is it to have Elle Cardwell back teaming up with you in the circle?
Oh, it's so good to have Elle back. You know, she brings that monger that we all want to have in our team, and I think we all just feel excited to have her back out there.
What were some of the key things that you're working on at training in the week leading up to the Firebirds? Because you put on a really good display of netball today.
I think what we was very focused was on us. mainly what we do as Mavericks, how we execute, how we pull things through, how we're a strong target, how we give and go, how we are an option for everyone and not just standing and floating around. It's those 1%ers of keep going if you're not using those repetitions, and I think that's how we executed today.
Most definitely, we all saw that for sure. So looking ahead to next week, I know you want to go and enjoy this win first, but looking ahead to next week against the Giants, what do you can expect from them?
I think learnings from today, we go back home, watch our footage, and then we just fine-tune what we need to clean up in our areas, because we did have a bit of patch where we had a bit of lull, and I think that's where we may focus on that, but not too much away from who we are as Melbourne Mavericks and what we execute on court.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations on your play of the match and the win. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Shimona Jock, the 25-year-old intensive care nurse, well, she certainly looked after the Mavericks today with those shooting numbers that Sharon provided. It's a great story. Hard to believe that there was a big chance she wasn't going to be part of Suncorp Super Netball this year.
It's unbelievable to think at a player of her stature, only 25 years old, has so much to give. As we see the stats there, gains for the Melbourne Mavericks were up. Their ability to look after the ball when they had it in their possession, the contact's way down, so they had a lot of impact during the game. For mine, the big improvement was their rebound stat. Only sitting on 16 for the year to date, they took 6 rebounds today, so really outplayed the Queensland Firebirds in that part of the court.
There are the numbers today, a lot to like about them. If you're a Mavericks fan, congratulations. You have your second win in your very young existence, and you're up to 6th on the ladder, 2 and 4. Sharon, I wonder what the Mavericks coach made of all that.
Well, Maddie, yes, I would love to hear what she made of all that. I'm sure she's very happy. It's really great to see a smile on her face. Tracy, tell us your thoughts about today's game.
Yeah, I think this week has been a really good reflection. When we train hard, when we put in, work at training, that's both on and off the court, we come out and do a performance like that. You have to say that Elle in that attack end as well is great leadership, so missing her, obviously, having her in there, just her influence and the way she can just calm that attack is quite key for us. I think the key thing for me was the technical skill today, and it was where we needed it to be. And, fair due to Firebirds, they've had some great performances over the last few weeks, so we knew it was not going to be an easy game, but we just had to keep chugging away. They looked a bit tired in that last, our defensive pressure just eased off, but, sometimes you just want to finish off the game, and that's what I'm really proud the girls did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a really clinical display of netball. Obviously, you bring so much experience as a former international yourself. We played against each other back in '99 World Champs, so your influence is obviously rubbing off on the girls. So they must be very excited to have you there. I hope they let you know that.
I'm not sure sometimes. No, the girls they're exceptional. Every single one of them who are in camp. They challenge me every day, they push me to be better, and they push Richo to be better, but they also go out there and work really hard at their craft and what they do. And when they do that, they put out with some great performances, and we talked about them, doing their job and us doing our job, and then now it's just about building. It's a team that has only been together a short period of time, and, this is not just a 4-month project, this is a lifetime for this club, so our CEO keeps reminding us of that. I think we put a lot more pressure on us. So Simo and Uchi, thank you for keep reminding us that we are building as a club constantly. And there is challenges every single week, and that can be quite hard. But the support that's around us is exceptional.
Well, congratulations on the win. I know you've got the Giants next week, so I'm sure with that confidence boost from today, you'll go in with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, you say about confidence, but I think for me it's about them doing their skill together and, enjoying playing. And sometimes, you can be overconfident, and we weren't today, and that really showed in what we wanted to do. And, yeah, I'm just really proud of the girls, and it was great leadership from Amy as well.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Go and enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Tracy Neville, a proud coach, 69-62. That score is their biggest of the season. It's basically double what they put on the board last week against the Thunderbirds. Of course, that was without Eleanor Cardwell.
A huge improvement from the Melbourne Mavericks from last week, all over the court. Their centre court, as we heard, Tracy Neville, they were great when they had the ball. Their skill execution, they were able to use the ball when they had it, and defensively they turned a lot of ball over, which they were able to secure with an exceptional 78% and 79% centre pass to goal rate. As we see the Mavericks shooting stats there, 91% to Shimona Jock, 52 from 57, but with the way she went about it, the Queensland Firebirds threw everything at her, but she was strong under the post and a really vital target and MVP today.
I'm glad you said that, because the defensive end tried hard, worked hard, but the efforts of Cardwell and Jock, the feeds from the likes of Jovic with 120 Nissan net points, just too good. They were unstoppable today.
Clinical. Molly Jovic, 28 goal assists, 37 feeds, with only 3 general play turnovers. The amount of ball that's going through Molly Jovic, there wasn't a single substitution for the Melbourne Mavericks today. So every player on court, all 7 players, played out the full 60 minutes, and that would be really impressing their coach, Tracy Neville.
Congratulations, Melbourne Mavericks, winners for the second time, beating the Firebirds 69-62. On behalf of Kira Tromp and Sharon Finnan-White, not to mention the entire team, thanks for watching this game, but go nowhere. There is more still to come. After the break, we're at Ken Rosewall Arena. Helen Housby and the crew. It's the All Sydney Derby. It's the Firebirds, it's the Giants, and it's up next.